What up, everyone? Pat Mayo here, letting you know about the 2020 Safeway Open Picks and DraftKings preview. 156 players in the field this week, barring a few people on either side if they withdraw at the last minute. There's already been a slew of withdrawals already, the biggest being Matt Kuchar and Danny Lee, no longer in the field for the Safeway Open. But it's going to be the full field, top 65 in ties, make the cut after 36 holes. Nothing like we've seen through the FedEx Cup playoffs with these small fields and no-cut events. And frankly, the quality of this field is far lower than those events. No one who played in the Tour Championship last week is going to be in the field in Napa Valley at Silverado Resort and Spa. So those guys are off to the U.S. Open, and the U.S. Open is going to be next week. And a lot of the players in the U.S. Open are actually going to play this event to get their sea legs underneath them. Some of these players haven't played in a month, the PGA Championship or the Wyndham Championship. A lot of these European players as well who just didn't qualify for the FedEx Cup playoffs. But the course itself is pretty easy, to tell you the truth. The winning score is usually between -14 and -18. The past 5 winners, Cameron Champ won a year ago, Kevin Tway before that, Brendan Steele 2 years in a row before, and Emiliano Grillo. But each of the past 4 champions are guys that you would call bombers off the tee. That's par 72, 7,166 yards. And when we think about it, we want ball strikers here. And just listening to that list of names again, Champ, Tway, Steele, Grillo, not a whole lot of good putters on that list, but guys that definitely drive it. Well, Grillo doesn't drive it super far, but he does get a ton of strokes off the tee. So I will primarily be focusing in on ball striking this week and pray that a hot putter comes along with it. And one of the other things that you'll see is after, Dustin Johnson going off at, $15,000 on DraftKings last week, or above $12,000, or he and Rahm are both 5-1 and 6-1 in the betting market. We don't have that this week. You go to the very top of the DraftKings board at the Safeway Open, and you're going to see, woo, Kim. He's followed by Phil Mickelson at $10,600. Shane Lowry, Brendan Steele, Sergio Garcia at $9,900, Jordan Spieth at $9,800. These are guys usually in the upper $7,000 to lower $8,000 region. Now, this is a significantly weaker field, so if you do want to go all the way to the top, you just have to know you're going to have to go dumpster diving in the 6K level, which is somewhat okay this week because even in a field of 156 players, basically once you get below the $7,500 threshold, what you're looking at is a lot of the same players. So just because someone is $7,400, unless your name is Luke List, who everyone should use this week, by the way. Again, bomber, approaches, can chip, can't putt, but hey, maybe these slower greens will end up helping him here. But even if you go down to like the very bottom, whether it's like Tom Kim at $6,100, Chris Baker at $6,400, Jason Duffner at $6,900, Adam Shank at $6,900, Kevin Streelman at $6,900, these are the same guys that are like Charles Schwartzel's in the upper $7,000 area. Like there's no difference really between the upside and stability of any of these guys. So I think very few people are going to use a stars and scrubs approach to the week, which will end up being the contrarian play. What most people are going to do is build a balance approach and try to really hammer down 6 of 6 through the cut. The problem is the upper quality, even in the upper 9s, lower 9s, and upper 8s, they're not the safest guys in the world. Like Grillo is a really good play in the field this week. Not trustworthy whatsoever. When you can putt yourself out of tournaments, you're not going to be the most trustworthy guy. But for me, if we start in the 9K region, I really do like Sergio Garcia, and I really like Emiliano Grillo. Those would be my 2 plays from the top end. If you did want to put in Brendan Steele into that mix, no problem with that either at $10,000 if that's where you wanted to start and fade the top 3 guys. But really, the main play that I'm looking at after all of those, and probably the player that I'll be centering most of my lineups around at $8,900, Cameron Davis is right there. He's reeled off 3 consecutive top 30 finishes, 4 top 35s in a row, and he was just god-awful to begin. Coming out of the COVID hiatus, he was terrible. But now he's slowly getting it back together, and no one makes more birdies in this field over the past 24 rounds than Cameron Davis. He's a bomber. He can putt. He's an Aussie. Always got to like those Aussies. And he's playing for a ton here. It's not like Spieth's getting a warm-up for the U.S. Open and Phil's getting a warm-up for the U.S. Open. Cam Davis is looking to secure his tour card and get into the Masters next year, and he's trending absolutely in the right direction. Other than Cam Davis in the 8K range, I actually do like Denny McCarthy, and I never like Denny McCarthy. I actually believe he's $7,900. But either way, when you look at him, he's actually hitting his irons well. He's gained in 4 consecutive events for the first time in his career, and we know he can go nuclear on the green. So Denny McCarthy at 79 is actually kind of a steal in this field this week, depending on like if you're just trying to target one big skill set, Denny McCarthy is kind of that guy. So Cam Davis, Denny McCarthy, you can even throw in a Will Gordon into that mix in the lower $8,000 area, who is someone who bombs it and can putt pretty well, piles up birdies by the dozen. So you can have 3 of these expensive guys and then take your stab with Luke List and then 2 of the 6K guys that I mentioned, and you can really put together a pretty quality tournament lineup very, very quickly. That's my quick preview for the 2020 Safeway Open. You can find my cheat sheet up on dkplaybook.com, and you can catch full episodes of the Pat Mayo Experience on the Pat Mayo Experience podcast feed, as always. And for the full video versions, you can find them right now up on Mayo Media Network. They're already out. I'll see you next time.